Hello, friends. I'm Bethany Hamilton, co-director of the National Center for Medical Legal Partnership. The entire team here at the National Center hopes this message finds you all healthy and doing well. I'm recording this brief message, or what I hope will be brief, to really kick off the new year, a year of change and cautious optimism. It was not too long ago that we all eagerly looked forward to 2021 in hopes that a mere change in the digits would spark some change in our circumstances. Everything we have seen or experienced of late represents change. Certainly, some of the faces at the National Center have changed. Our priorities are changing, our methods and strategies are changing, and the great losses we continue to suffer around the country as a result of this pandemic are representative of or resulting in some dramatic and painful changes underway. The question is for us, how are we going to evolve or be the catalyst for the changes that we wish to see? Speaking of changes, it would be remiss of me not to mention the events we all unwillingly witnessed as a violent siege happened on our US Capitol. I'm not going to waste time offering any more verbose statements to condemn what we have always known and dedicated our lives and careers to dismantle. What I will offer, however, are some words of encouragement, then a request, and finally a note to recognize two of our great champions in the field of social justice and social medicine. First, the words of encouragement. Do not be distracted, deterred, or discouraged. Last week's events were re-traumatizing, yes, and they were rooted in a long history of racism, but do not be distracted, for they are reactions and last-ditch efforts to halt the forthcoming changes that we have hoped to see. In 1975, the late author Toni Morrison actually delivered a speech, A Humanist View. Many of you may be familiar with this speech. And she more eloquently articulated this reality check that I'm trying to convey. Here's what she said in part. It's important, therefore, to know who the real enemy is and to know the function, the very serious function of racism, which is a distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being. Somebody says you have no language, and so you spend 20 years proving that you do. Somebody says your head isn't shaped properly, so you have scientists working on the fact that it is. Somebody says you have no art, so you dredge that up. Somebody says that you have no kingdoms, and so you dredge that up. None of this is necessary. She goes on to say, you don't waste your energy fighting the fever. You must only fight the disease. And the disease is not racism. It is greed and the struggle for power. And I urge you to be careful, for there is a deadly prison, the prison that is erected when one spends one's life fighting phantoms. To the field, please do not be discouraged. Don't be distracted. Don't focus on the fever. Your work is to fight the disease. That is the change you have been a part of and will continue to bring about for millions of people through your fight, your work for social justice and health equity. And so now I move on to our request. It is a call to action. We have seen that our power is in our numbers, but we don't know our numbers if we don't know who we are. So this spring, the National Center is going to field a survey, and we want to know who you are, where you are, and how you're doing your planning, your operating, or changing for medical legal partnerships in every corner, nook, and cranny of the country. It's going to be an arduous task. Yes, we know, because designing a thing is also an arduous and cumbersome task, but that is the pain of change. Please help us evolve and advance this medical legal partnership movement and complete the survey when it comes out. Finally, I'll end, as I must, on a note to recognize and remember two giants that we recently lost. First, Dr. Jack Geiger. He was a physician who dedicated his career to really addressing the social determinants of health. He passed away on December 28th at the age of 95. Many of you know Dr. Geiger as one of the founders of the community health center movement. As noted in the New York Times, he used medicine to take on poverty, racism, and the threat of nuclear destruction. Dr. Geiger also served as an advisor to the National Center and provided mentoring and guidance to his staff, leadership, and supporters. Elizabeth Arledge passed away more recently on January 7th, 2021, at the age of 56. Elizabeth was a passionate advocate for the underserved. She held many roles at many of our great partnering organizations in the legal field, including NLADA, the Legal Aid Justice Center in Virginia, Disability Rights in Oregon, and the Legal Services Corporation. In 2013, Elizabeth became a founding deputy director of Voices for Civil Justice. And as noted by her Voices family, civil justice reforms such as the right to counseling and eviction cases and increased use of court navigators are the legacy of her strategic communication support. We at the National Center offer our deepest condolences to the families and loved ones of Dr. Geiger and Elizabeth Arledge. We will remain inspired by and carry on their unparalleled work in health and social justice. To the MLP field, our friends, our champions and supporters, change is coming. Are you coming with us? The answer is a resounding yes, because change for the better is in fact what we all hope to see and have aimed to achieve all of these years. We at the National Center thank you sincerely for your continued support and the work you are doing around the country. And we look forward to working with you in this new year and many years to come. Thank you.